Hey guys, this is Aaron. We are on video number 5 of our architectural walkthrough. Um, we set up an image, input exterior walls, interior walls, then we put rough openings in walls. So what we're going to look at today is actually putting the doors and the windows, the components, into those openings. So that's what we're doing. We'll hop right in. So there's a couple different ways we can go about this, and really it all comes down to what you need or want out of your openings. So if all I'm really looking for is something that's decorative that tells me, yeah, there's a window there and I don't need much more detail, that's pretty easy. I can get that in there a couple different ways. If what I'm actually looking for is something that perfectly represents a specific manufacturer's product, I can go that route too. The work I do really doesn't matter which one I want. What we're going to look at really is a couple different workflows to actually get them in. So the first one is going to be the basics. So we're going to come in here and just draw an opening. So I do have my exterior walls grouped. I don't want to go into that group. I actually want to keep this on a separate layer than where I have my geometry for the opening, because I want to be able to move this around independently of what's already here. I don't want to merge with my wall geometry. So a couple ways I can do this. We're just going to run through a couple real quick. I could, if I'm really looking for basics, create a rectangle, offset that. So what's my trim around the outside? I'm going to say I want a 2.5 inch.
All right, first thing we should do is let's turn off our X-ray mode. Go over here to the right, go to the styles icon, click on default styles, and go back onto the default styles, the first one. Grab the rectangle tool on the left and zoom in and click on, make sure we get the outside corners, fill that in. And then nested with the push-pull tool, the third one is the offset tool. Click on it, there we go, drag it out. He said 2.5 inches, enter, and gives a border of 2.5 inches.
Something like that. I could take that then, pull it out. We'll say 1/2 inch.
Push-pull tool, click on your outside border, drag it out 1/2 inch, 0.5 inches, enter.
And I can get rid of this surface right here. Or no, you know what? Better yet, let's take that surface, reverse it, so the proper side is facing out, and I could then fill that with a material from our glass and mirrors. And I like this one with little clouds on it, personally. I just think that looks nice.
All right, click on our selection tool, click on this and right click and reverse faces so it's not backwards. Grab our paint can bucket, go over here. Now these are the in model colors, not many. We want to go to the browse icon and we need to go to glass and mirrors, and he used the third one from the end, which is this one that looks blue and cloudy, and paint that on it, and it gets see-through, but it kind of has like a cloudy reflection. He used the third one.
And at that point, in some cases, of course, I'd want to take that then, group it, and then add that to the proper.
All right, grab the selection tool, spin this around, draw a window to select the frame and everything we made. Make sure you're not inside your window, or make sure you're not inside your wall grouping, but we're out back in the regular page. Right click and make a group. And apparently I had some other stuff selected, so I'm going to Control Z to undo it. Spin it around and go like that. Let's see, make sure I don't have anything else selected, then right click, group. Make sure you only have one group, you don't have a group inside of a group inside of a group like we did with the walls.
Layer. That is a simple solution. And again, that's going to work. In this case, I could actually take that and I could option, copy that over, throw that onto another opening. In some situations, that might be enough. I don't have mullions in here or anything like that, but the drawing of those separations is pretty simple. But that's the basic steps I might use. Some people would also say, well, they want a more decorative uh, trim than that. Maybe something that looks a little bit fancier. Maybe using follow me to trace the rectangle. But the geometry is the same. It's the same process of getting that basic geometry in there. So that is one option. That is the basically roll your own, draw your own, create your own door or window opening. The other option, of course, is to leverage the 3D warehouse. So I'm not going to go through and do searches and stuff like that online. So I just went and grabbed a couple doors and windows that I thought we could take a look at. So the first one is this one called Component. And I'm just going to drop it out here all by itself. And it is exactly what it says it is. It is a window. uh, Pretty simple. So I have.
So the window we're gonna try to find, I'm gonna X out my materials panel. I don't need it, so I can hit the little X here, scroll up to the top, X that out. I don't need styles, X that out. And the components icon is over here on the right, 3 little blocks on top of each other. That's how you get to the 3D warehouse. And we're gonna search double hung window. And let's click on the one that looks like this and drag it into your screen and place it out here in the front.
Have this in here saved. This is a nice option if I have manufacturer specific information. So if this is an exact part number of an exact size, it's great to get this, save it in your model, have it in your components, and then what you can do is you can just grab it and drop it into the appropriate opening, and I can be done. That is a nice option for these specific pieces. The issue comes in with this is if I ever have to modify this. So say I was putting this into a window that was, or an opening that was larger, if I come in here and scale, watch what's going to happen. So I scale it bigger, and look how it distorts. So this mullion used to be the same size as this one, and now it is bigger. Same thing on the sides. My sides are wider than the tops. It did that because it's basically just geometry. It's like anything else you draw in SketchUp is just geometry. So if I scale it, it can get kind of messy. I can bypass that issue by coming in here and doing things like selecting only the geometry on the side. Hold on, let me do this. Let me explode this geometry out. This is the process I would have to go through to make this work. And then I could do something like take these pieces, the vertical pieces on the right, scoot them over. Say I want it to be a foot bigger, so I could say go 6 inches this way, and then grab this side 6 inches this way, and there we go. And that would work. That is totally an option. I would want to save this then as a different component from the one I put in before. You can see because it was a component, I resized this one, and this one resized too. So let's undo that, and then make this unique. And that way I could actually come in here and resize this without fear of messing with my existing instances of that component. That's usually how I remind myself that I have components, is by making a change, looking at my model and going, ah, nuts, and then undoing and redoing, or copying and pasting in place. So, gentle reminder from SketchUp not to do that. So,
All right, this window won't fit perfectly, but let's put in a copy. Let's grab the, click on the corner here with the move tool. So I got my move tool. I'm going to click on the bottom corner. Make sure you click on the right spot. I'm going to hit the control key once to make a copy. And I'm going to snap it right to the bottom corner, outside corner of my hole. And notice that it is too tall. But it's not a big deal. We can click on the scale tool. Scale tool is nested with the move tool, bottom one, scale. And what we actually need to do is click on the middle scale. So let's make our walls X-ray mode again. So let's go over to our styles, X-ray mode. And notice that you have 3 front, middle, and corner, 3 here, and 3 there. to move it down, we actually want to grab the middle top one, click on it, snap it down to this little guide that we still have here, the 7-foot tall mark, and click. And shrunk it down to be the right height that we want. Again, I can of course go back to my default styles to see what that looked like. There we go. For our big opening, I'm going to copy this one over again. So let's grab, maybe we'll grab the big one. I don't know. Move tool, M key, click on a corner. I'm going to click on the bottom left corner. Control key, because we don't want to move the original. And click on there. You can see now it's too short. I'm wondering, we could scale it up now. At the S key for scale, grab the middle block, snap it to the top. I'm curious if this one is the right size. I'm going to hit my M key for move, click on my original one. Nope, I have this one selected still. Hit escape to deselect. Click on my original, except I want to click on the bottom corner and snap that one to our last one. And so the original was actually the right height. And let's grab this corner, hit control to make a copy, snap that to that corner, and lo and behold, 3 of them fit very nicely in the front. He's going to be doing a little something different that I think is interesting to watch.
If you do have a component, this is kind of the workflow you'll have to go through if it's just a standard component. You can see as I'm creating these different instances, they are showing up in here in my component browser. So I do want to keep an eye on that and keep this clean as I go through there. My other option with components, of course, is a dynamic component. So I have one of those right here too. So I'm going to pull that in, and I will stand him up. All right, so there's a couple cool things about dynamic components. Thing number one is if I do that same thing I did to this window, if I just grab scale and pull it wider, see how it stretches out, but as soon as I release that, everything jumps back to the way it was. That's because that's how this particular dynamic component was created. It was made to resize with those scale handles. This means I can do something like, I'm going to grab it by this corner right here, come drop it in this opening, and I can hit scale and drag that over to here, and then drag it vertical, and I could get that is an enormous sliding window, but you get the idea. So it's real simple to do that. One of the other things that I can see in dynamic components, I'm going to pull this one back out, is some smart geometry. So I right click and I go to dynamic component and component options. I will get this user interface specific to this window that says, what are you trying to make? So I can come in here with this one and I can actually make some changes. So right now I have a screen on here. If I would say no, I don't want that screen, to hit apply, the screen goes away. Grill, nope, let's get rid of that grill too. Apply that, boom, that's gone. This is pretty cool. So you can actually see ones like this that will redefine, is it single hung, double hung, fixed, whatever it is will actually change on the fly as you change these properties. Pretty cool. We'll not get into creating these in this particular video because we're just talking about putting them in, but the extension warehouse is full of great examples of dynamic components. I will say this, check it out. If you download a component, any component of course, verify it's what you need. Check it out to make sure it doesn't have a bunch of extra information there. It's going to bloat your model. But once you've done that, having something like a single component like this, a single dynamic component that I can use for my whole model, is a great option.
All right, we're not going to use the component ones that are kind of cool. I did want to show you. We're going to use this window for the rest of the house. Let's grab the small one. I'm going to hit escape, click on the corner of this window. So let's actually click on the window. And this, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to grab a copy of it, put it out here. Off to the side, and then just use this one as my copy. Click on it, control. Because that one already fits. key here is if you want to select the window, you have to like hover over it and grab the corner without having it switch into the wall. Grab the top corner maybe. Hit Control so I don't move the original. Snap it there. Now with this one, it doesn't fit. So I need to, actually I'm going to move this, I didn't quite get it right. Let's move to the front. We need to scale it down. So scale tool. Let's make our walls X-ray mode so we can see the 3 little squares inside the wall. Click on the window, scale tool, click on the middle. So middle up and down, middle left and right. Snapped it to the edge of the window. Go back to your move tool, M key. Grab the corner, hit Control, put that one there. And I'm going to grab this window here, hit Escape, click on that corner. I'm going to do these smaller windows first. Click one there, click on another one, hit Control. All right, I'm going to put this out to the side here. And one thing we need to do is rotate this. So I'm going to go back to my default styles so you can see it so it's not see-through. We need to rotate this window so that's facing this wall. So grab the rotate key, and I find it's easiest to do on the top. So click on the top of the window, click out on one of these red axes to click the start to rotation, and I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. You can see in my bottom right corner it says angle 90. I can type in 90 to make sure I'm at 90 and hit enter. And that made it rotate. Grab my move tool, M key, grab the corner, move it to the corner. Okay. Click on the corner again, take Control to make a copy, put that one over here. Those are garage doors, we'll do those later. Front door we'll do later. We need to do the back windows. So let's grab maybe this one here, Control, snap it in there. When we scale this, let's scale S for scale. Click on the window. I'm going to click on the front corner here and scale it both up and over so that we hit the top there. No. I'm going to hit Escape. Let's just scale it straight up so we snap. Move tool. Click on the corner, hit Control. I don't think this fills up as nicely as the last one. Click on the corner, hit Control. You can see that there is a little bit of a gap. Let's do this. Let's move this one to this corner and make this middle one a little bit bigger. So we're going to select it with the selection tool. Let's grab the scale tool. It's not the scale tool, that's the scale tool. Click on it. Just grab out the middle one. Maybe we'll just make the middle one bigger. Okay, once we have one, grab my selection tool. Actually, let's grab the move tool. I'm gonna hit escape so I don't have anything selected by mistake. No, not gonna let me. All right, let's grab the selection tool then. Click on the window, hold the shift key, and select the other two windows so they're all three selected. Move tool, click on the corner, hit the control key to make a copy, and luckily the back two openings are the same size. Okay, so we got the back windows. We got the one here, two on the side, the triple in the front, this one, and this looks a little bit silly, but let's keep it for now so I can see that you did this one. And let's rotate this to an angle we can see. We can X out our styles. We can X out the components. Rotate this a nice sharp angle so I can see back here, all these windows here. Make sure I can see all the windows the whole way around on all four sides. And then we can save it. I'm going to call this one 05 window components or whatever. Go to the folder, export, PNG, export as a PNG, continue if you need to. Make sure you know where you save it to. Desktop, Sketchup Architect. Save it and upload it to Canvas. Then Canvas inbox me if you have any questions. All right, good luck.